Change isn't dramatic, it's daily. We often imagine change as something huge. Sudden breakthrough, a big decision, a moment where everything clicks. But reality is quieter than that. Yet, transformation doesn't come from one big thing. It's shaped by hundreds of small things, done with consistency. You don't change your life in one leap. You change it by showing up again and again for the small things that matter. Your future is hidden in your daily routine. The power of how you start your day. Let's begin where each day begins, your morning. Most people start the day in a fog. They scroll their phone, they rush through brushing their teeth, they check emails before they've even stretched. They start in reaction mode, not in intention. And what happens when you start on autopilot? Continue that way all day, unfocused, drifting, tired. But what if, instead, your morning became your anchor? Imagine this. You wake up with awareness. You take 30 seconds before leaving bed to breathe and ask, how do I want to live today? You put your feet on the floor, not because the alarm went off, but because you have a purpose. You splash cold water on your face, not just to wake up, but to remember you're alive. You are not here to get through the day. You are here to live the day with purpose. This doesn't require a 5 a.m. routine or a 20-step plan. It just requires clarity. Unclear morning intention sets the tone. It tells your mind, today belongs to me. I'm not waiting to feel ready. I'm ready because I choose to be. The voice within. Self-talk shapes your reality. There's a voice you carry that no one hears but you. And yet it's one of the most powerful forces in your life. Here's the truth. Most people verbally abuse themselves every single day. They call themselves lazy, stupid, weak, not good enough. They say things internally they'd never say to someone they care about. And over time, those words become belief systems. You start seeing your life through a distorted lens of criticism. But what if you change that? What if, just like a good friend, you started talking to yourself with support, belief, and compassion? You're allowed to fall and still believe in yourself. You're allowed to not have it all figured out and still move forward. You're allowed to say, that wasn't my best, but I'll try again tomorrow. This isn't fake positivity. It's mental resilience. Because your inner world leads your outer world. When you become your own supporter, not your enemy, you stop needing constant validation. You stop performing. You start living. And that quiet shift changes everything. The foundation of trust, small daily promises. Let's talk about one of the most underrated ideas in personal growth. Keep one small promise to yourself every day. It could be drinking a glass of water after waking up, writing 3 honest sentences in a journal, making your bed with attention, meditating for 5 minutes, walking outside with no phone. These aren't productivity hacks. They're acts of alignment. They say, I do what I say I'll do. And when you keep those promises, even if no one notices, you notice. Your self-respect grows. Your self-trust strengthens. You stop feeling like a fraud and start becoming someone you admire. Because let's be honest, so many people chase massive goals while ignoring daily basics. They want to launch a business but can't commit to waking up early. They want to become confident, but speak to themselves with self-hate. They want peace but fill their day with noise. Discipline isn't a punishment. It's a gift you give to the version of you that's trying to build something beautiful. Those small rituals, they're sacred. Because they remind you, I am the kind of person who follows through. becoming the leader of your own life. Ask yourself, why do I keep waiting for the perfect moment to begin? Why do I let old habits dictate my future? Why do I wait for life to feel right before I choose to lead it? The truth is, no one is coming to save you. The morning doesn't exist just to get ready for work. It's your battlefield. It's your workshop. It's your sacred time to lead yourself before the world pulls you in 1,000 directions. And when you start living like that, not just once, but every day, you become someone with presence. People will feel your shift, not because you brag, but because you walk with quiet power. You'll stop chasing validation. You'll start choosing values. You'll live life on purpose, not by default. Start with one small thing. The day isn't just another day. It's another vote for the life you want to build. So, here's what I want you to do. Pick one small thing you'll do for yourself today. Keep that promise. Celebrate the fact that you showed up. That's it. Because momentum doesn't start with motivation. It starts with movement. Recap, what really changes your life? Wake up with intention. Don't sleepwalk through your morning, set the tone. Talk to yourself with care. Be your coach, not your critic. Keep one daily promise. Let consistency build confidence. Lead your life, don't just react to it. You are not here to drift. You are here to define. Full length, no word loss. Choose something doable. Then ask yourself, will you honor it? Even when no one sees? Even when you're exhausted, frustrated, or numb? As the real test, your habits aren't born in fleeting motivation, but in your daily friction with resistance. It's never about the size of the promise. It's about the weight of your word. When you begin treating your own word as sacred, everything changes. You stop waiting for the world to reward you. Instead, you begin to move from within, quietly at first, then unmistakably. So let your dreams burn on the horizon, hot, untouchable. But anchor them in something small, something difficult, something now. Make one promise to yourself today, then repeat it tomorrow. That quiet rhythm of persistence builds something massive, not through sheer willpower, but by restoring faith in yourself. One small act at a time. See, most people live in silent avoidance. Not true oblivion, strategic evasion of anything that causes sweat, stumbles, or stretch. They dance around difficulty as if struggle were a wild beast. But comfort lies. It whispers safety, yet slowly strips your fire. The ones who rise, the ones remembered, don't recoil when life grips tighter. They lean in. They walk straight into what others dodge, not because they crave pain, but because they know growth hides behind discomfort. Discomfort isn't your enemy. It's not a red flag. It's an invitation, a sign. Here lies your edge. There's many forms. An awkward silence, a failed attempt, a hard choice, a heavy truth. It shows up as pain, but it has purpose. When you stop running from it, when you greet it face to face, you begin to evolve. You become the person who moves toward resistance, not away. And in doing so, you uncover strength you forgot was yours. Picture a slap of cold morning air. Most slam the door, hit snooze, retreat under blankets. But then there's someone else. They open the door and step out. Burning lungs, raw skin. They breathe deep. That chill doesn't paralyze, it revives. The same pain that others avoid becomes their fuel. That's the difference between resignation and a life lit by passion. You weren't built to escape struggle. You were designed for pressure, shaped by adversity. Your body knows this. Muscles grow with tension. Lungs expand through strain. The mind sharpens under trial. Ouch still. You resist resistance. You avoid the hard talk, delay tough decisions, sidestep the steep paths meant to mold you. But start here. Ask what you're avoiding. Is it a truth? A risk? A dream you've postponed because the path looks too steep? The answers won't be easy, but they'll be honest. And that's what matters. Discomfort is never random. Points to where your next level lives, where your unused strength waits. So what if, instead of dodging it, you welcome discomfort? As a teacher, rough hands, gruff voice, but a teacher still. What if ever resistance was a hidden lesson in becoming more courageous, more grounded, more alive? People who rise don't have less fear. They simply stop running from what's hard. They go through it and emerge changed. Every day you choose, stay where it's easy. Or step into what shakes your hands, quickens your pulse. It doesn't need to be a leap, just a step. Lean in, feel the fire in your gut. That's how you forge yourself, through action, not theory. Growth doesn't live in ease. It lives in effort. And what once made you anxious will, over time, feel natural. Because discomfort fades. But the resilience it builds stays. Write it down. A messy mind is heavier than any burden. It clouds your vision like a dirty pain, blurring everything. You try to push on, but choices overwhelm you. Emotions spike. Tasks feel massive. You're not broken. You're buried. Buried beneath noise. And clarity is still within you. One way to find it? Write. No rules, no grammar, no expectations. You're not writing for display. You're writing to offload. Because thoughts in your head spin. They loop and tangle and replay. But once they're on paper, they loosen. The storm slows, the fog lifts. 5 minutes. Ask, what am I feeling right now? What's bothering me? What am I avoiding? What's bringing me hope? Don't judge your answers. Don't end it. Let it spill, even if it makes no sense. Even if all you can write is the same sentence over and over. Once it's out, you shift. You're not just living the chaos, you're observing it. That's power. You'll see the patterns. You'll glimpse the buried truths. You'll recognize what was always there, waiting. Journaling isn't a fix. It's a mirror, a refuge, a holy place in a world that demands perfection. It's yours, only yours. As time passes, something else happens. The noise lifts, your sleep deepens, your reactions soften. You think clearer, you choose wiser. This small act, so easy to ignore, is one of the most transformative. History's greatest minds, artists, thinkers, leaders, they all wrote, not for applause, but to survive the weight of their own minds. You don't need a leather journal, just a scrap of paper. The magic isn't in the pen, it's in the choice to face yourself. Write. Spill. Sit with the truth. You'll be amazed at what emerges and how it changes you. Finish one thing. Each morning opens a dozen doors. To start, to fix, to create, to complete. But most people peek in, then retreat. They dabble, they shift. They fear choosing wrong, so they finish nothing. This is where frustration breeds, not in lack of potential, but in lack of follow-through. If you want clarity, confidence, and direction, do one radical thing. Pick one task and finish it. It doesn't have to be grand. Vend your coat. Answer that overdue message. Clean the shelf that's haunted you for weeks. The size doesn't matter, the completion does. Finishing is a muscle. And like any muscle, it strengthens with use. Starting is exciting, but progress isn't in the start. It's in the finish. Completing something builds quiet inner power. It's a subtle declaration. I said I would, and I did. That's how you build integrity. That's how you build you. Begin what you start and finish it. A deep dive into the power of completion. There's a quiet promise we make every time we begin something. It's not just a commitment to the task. It's not even a commitment to others. It's a silent, unspoken vow to ourselves. And most people don't realize this. When you make a promise to the world, you're really making a promise to yourself. And nothing shapes your identity faster than proving you can follow through. Because the moment you start completing what you begin, everything changes. Not just externally, internally. Your words start to mean something, not because others believe you, but because you believe you. You begin to trust yourself in a way that feels unshakable, grounded, real. Suddenly you walk a little taller. Sure, you speak with more clarity. You act with more purpose. You hesitate less, not because you're always certain of the outcome, but because you're certain of yourself, of your ability to show up, to stay with it, to finish. And that shift, right there, is powerful, because it means you're no longer making decisions out of fear or doubt. You're no longer held hostage by uncertainty. You've stepped into something rare, self-reliance. You've shown yourself that you don't just start things, you complete them. You don't just spark ideas, you see them burn all the way through. You don't just make intentions, you turn them into evidence. That's when life begins to loop forward into growth. You start, you stay, you finish, you grow in confidence, you start again. It becomes your new rhythm, your new default. Now picture this. You wake up in the morning and you know in your bones that anything you begin, whether it's a book, a business, a workout, or a conversation, you'll complete it. That's football. Football is life. And at that min, it's the plate for all that you begin. You'll do it with presence, with commitment, with respect. Imagine how much time you'd save. Not hesitating, not overthinking, not spiraling in doubt. Imagine how much energy you'd protect. Not scattered across abandoned efforts, but gathered in momentum. Imagine how much more courageously you'd create. Not afraid of failure, because you know that what matters is completion, not perfection. But to step into that identity, to become that version of yourself, you have to confront what's been left undone. Ask yourself, truthfully, quietly, what have I started and never finished? What dreams, what projects, what commitments did I leave half alive? Not because they didn't matter, but because I got distracted? Because self-doubt whispered too loudly? Because it got hard? We all have them, open loops in our lives. Doors left halfway, ideas left dormant, relationships left unresolved, promises left dangling in time. And the truth is, most of them still matter. The thing you started but never finished, it once meant something to you, and maybe it still does. So return to it, dust it off, clean up the hesitation, silence the shame. Pick one thing, just one, and choose to complete it. Not casually, not when you feel like it, but with your full focus, with full intent, as if it matters. Because it does. Not just for the thing itself, but for what it awakens in you. Because when you complete something, no matter how small, you feel it. It's that warm glow of self-trust. Things like that. Quiet satisfaction. That pride. But feeling is more than just a nice moment. It's the beginning of a new identity. It says, I do what I say. I finish what I begin. I can trust myself. And that kind of identity, it's rare. Not because it's complex, not because it's flashy, but because it's hard. It requires you to push back against the pull of novelty. It asks you to stay where most people quit, to keep going when the excitement fades, to resist the easy escape of distraction, to fight against the part of you that wants to start something new instead of finishing something true. But once you complete something with full intention, everything changes. You become different, more grounded, more disciplined, more free. And you realize completion isn't just about tasks. It's about integrity. It's about identity. It's about self-respect. This is where progress is born. Not in big declarations, but in the quiet decision to finish, to clean up what you left undone, to honor the things you begin. So no, you don't have to overhaul your entire life today. You don't have to chase every abandoned thread or fix every past mistake in one sitting. But you do have to choose. One thing, one action, one promise, the giveaway, and
complete it, not halfway, not when it's easy, but fully. Give it the closure it deserves. Give yourself the victory you need. And step back and notice how you carry yourself afterward, how you walk, how you think, how you begin to trust your next choice, your next commitment, your next dream. This is the loop of growth. You begin, you finish, you build belief, you start again stronger. And this loop, once repeated, becomes a force. It becomes your advantage, your standard, your way of life. So let that be your practice. Not perfection, not infinite ambition, but completion, one whole thing at a time. Because the person who finishes what they start, that person is unstoppable. Completion is self-respect in action. Every unfinished task is a small silent message to your brain. I don't follow through. I don't trust myself to stay the course. I don't finish what I start. And that message compounds. Every time you leave something incomplete, whether it's a book, a workout plan, a conversation, a morning routine, it creates an identity fracture. But when you complete something, even something small, you rebuild that trust. You tell your nervous system, I'm reliable. I honor what I begin. I have integrity, not just in public, but in private. Finishing becomes less about achievement and more about self-respect. Unfinished work drains mental energy. Ever wonder why your mind feels busy even when you're not doing anything? Unfinished tasks linger like tabs open in your mental browser. Each one consumes bandwidth. That email you never replied to, tab open. That closet you said you'd organize, tab open. That course you started and abandoned halfway, tab open. And the thing is, you can't just close the tab by ignoring it. The only way to free up that mental energy is through completion or intentional closure. Even if you decide not to finish something, that conscious closure is freeing. I've chosen to let this go. This chapter is complete. This too is a form of finishing. The resistance lives in the middle. Starting something is easy. Finishing something is rewarding. But the middle, that's where resistance lives. In the middle is boredom, doubt, complexity, discomfort, the loss of initial excitement. This is where most people stop. They tell themselves, it's not the right time. I'm not ready. Maybe this wasn't meant for me. But the truth is, the middle is supposed to feel like that. It's part of the process. Pushing through the middle is the work. It's where grit is built. It's where the difference is made. And that's the gym where your character gets stronger. Or completion trains identity from wishing to being. There's a profound shift that happens when you consistently complete what you begin. You stop saying, I want to be more disciplined. I wish I had more focus.
I hope I'll be successful. And you start becoming the person who already is those things. I am someone who finishes. I'm consistent. I'm dependable. That's the difference between intention and identity. The bridge between the two? Repetition of completion. Completion doesn't mean perfection. Finishing doesn't mean everything has to be flawless. It means you bring the task to its natural conclusion with intention. Even if the end result isn't perfect, you gain a sense of closure, a boost in momentum. Vigila. A lesson for the future. Proof that you're capable. Perfectionism is the enemy of completion, and often it's just fear in disguise. Don't wait until it's perfect. Finish it imperfectly and grow stronger from the experience. Micro-completion builds macro-confidence. Start with something small. Make your bed and actually tuck the corners. Finish the chapter of a book, not just skim it. Write one page and bring it to a clean end. Stick to your full workout, even if you're tired. Every small act of follow-through becomes a brick in the foundation of confidence. Soon, those bricks become a wall. That wall becomes your new home base, a place where you believe in your ability to finish anything you start. Finish, then start again. Completion isn't a finish line, it's a loop. Finish one thing. Rest, reflect, begin again, with more wisdom and momentum. This loop is how masters are made, how lives are changed. Not in random bursts of intensity, but in disciplined cycles of beginning, enduring, and completing.
Practices to implement completion. If you want to live this out, here are a few actionable methods. 1, create a completion list. Instead of just a to-do list, make a list titled Things I'm Committed to Finishing. Each item must be specific and measurable. Prioritize just 1-3 tasks at a time. 2, use the completion ritual. When you finish something, pause, take a breath, acknowledge it out loud. Even a small moment like, that's complete. I did what I said I would do. This small ritual trains your brain to recognize completion as valuable and repeatable. 3, do the hardest thing first. Choose the one task you're most likely to avoid and finish it first thing in your day. That single act can energize your entire day with momentum. So if you've been searching for clarity, if you've been wondering why your motivation is fading, if you've felt stuck in a cycle of starting and stopping, it's not that you're broken. It's that you need to reclaim the power of finishing. Start small, start now, and most importantly, finish what you start, because that's where your next chapter begins. You've started many things. Ideas, plans, routines, projects. I feel like we've begun with energy, with fire, with good intentions. But then life happens, distraction creeps in, motivation fades. In the beginning, loses its meaning. There's the truth. Starting is easy. Finishing, that's where the transformation lives.
Anyone can start. Anyone can write the first sentence, show up on day 1, say, I'm going to change. But the people who finish, the ones who push through the mud, the boredom, the frustration, they build something the world can't ignore. Credibility, grit, identity, power. Because finishing something, really finishing, isn't just about achievement. It's about integrity. Every time you finish something, no matter how small, you reinforce a message to yourself. I'm someone who follows through. I keep promises, especially the ones I make to myself. I am becoming who I said I would be. And every time you don't, you plant a different seed. I can't trust myself. Maybe I'm just not disciplined. maybe this isn't for me. And over time, those seeds grow into belief systems. Imagine your mind as a hallway. Every task you begin is a door you open. To start a project, the door creaks open. Is begin a routine. Another door swings wide. Tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. Another door. Now look around. How many open doors are you walking past every day? Each one draining your attention. Each one whispering. Unfinished, unkept, undone. Finishing something, even something simple, is like closing a door. You release the tension. You restore order. You free your focus to move forward. Let's be honest.
In the middle is where people quit. Not the beginning. About the end, in the middle. The part where you've lost the excitement. The results aren't showing yet. The distractions look more fun. And the work feels heavy. But that's the part that matters most. Because the middle is where growth lives. The middle is where discipline is built. And the middle is where most people walk away. You're not most people. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another burst of inspiration. You need to build a habit of completion. To become addicted to the feeling of closing loops. Of finishing what you start, even when it's uncomfortable. Even when no one's watching. Even when it's not perfect. Because every time you finish something, you train your identity. You go from, I wish I was disciplined, to I am disciplined, from I want to change, to I am the change. That shift doesn't happen by dreaming. It happens by doing, by finishing, repeatedly, consistently, relentlessly. Finish the workout, not just half of it. Finish the book. Don't just highlight quotes. Finish the routine. Don't almost show up. Finish the sentence, the story, the project, the path. Even if it's messy, even if it's ugly, even if it's slow, finish it. Because the finish line is where confidence begins. And when you finish one thing, start the next. Not from scratch, but from strength, from proof, from momentum. Because you've done it before. You'll do it again. You're not here to collect beginnings. You're here to complete, to close, to become. So whatever it is, that thing you started, that goal you committed to, that promise you made, go back, take it up, dust it off, and finish it. Because you don't need another idea. You don't need a new plan. You need to finish what you started. And when you do, you'll realize that's where the real magic begins.